What's going on, J Squad? Welcome back to the bunker. I'm your man, Sergeant J Max. With me, as always, is Sergeant Gnome. Today, guys, it's with a heavy heart that I bring this video to you. I was going to do a whole different video today, but based on the events that have transpired over the last few days, the young lady being unalived on the train, and now today, the taking of Charlie Kirk away from us. It's getting crazy out here in the world, guys. I know that you guys are following. I hope that you're following the news. I really hope that you're following the news. And it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is to me or not, but this was a video that I was going to do way before I started doing any of the stuff that I've done recently, as far as, pistols and training and stuff like that. It was going to be about developing a tactical mindset, or at least developing some situational awareness. I know that we get caught up in our daily routines, dropping kids off to school, going to work, picking kids up from school, going to the grocery store, just daily living, And my biggest message was always going to be having situational awareness. You don't have to have a tactical mindset. You don't have to be, a military guy, a police officer, anything like that. Everybody should have some sort of situational awareness about them in their everyday movings about, whether you're going back and forth to work, whether or not you're dropping your kids off at school, whether or not you're picking them up from school, whether or not you're going back and forth to work. If you got to go out to get your car out of the garage, like I do, like most people do every day, I'm always checking my surroundings. And it's not out of paranoia, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this to try to create paranoia within you, or to create paranoia or hysteria within your family dynamic or anything like that. What I'm trying to convey, the message I'm trying to convey to you guys is developing situational awareness, watching for things that are going on in your environment, whether it's something that you don't recognize, something that wasn't there 2 hours before when you got home, or an hour ago when you got home, or people coming up to your door and knocking on your door that you're not expecting. And I know a lot of people have Ring cameras or some form of security cameras, around their house, and you really should. If you don't, there are many camera setups, security setups that you can have for outside your home to watch your perimeter, so that way you have some sort of security within your house, or that your things are going to be safe when you're away from the home. Unfortunately, if you're away from home, you can't prevent a break-in, and a security system will only do so much to stop somebody from breaking in. But at least if you're in your home and you have cameras on the perimeter of your home outside, you'll be able to see if people are coming that you don't recognize, that you don't know, and that way you can be prepared for whatever may happen, And unfortunately, people are going to disguise themselves as DoorDash, as police officers, as food delivery people, or coming to your door and saying, "Hey, I'm lost. Can you give me directions?" just to get you to come to the door and get you out of your comfort zone. And then they might try to do something to you. So the biggest takeaway that I hope that you guys get from this is just developing situational awareness. When you're driving around in your cars, don't be fiddling around with your phones. I know a lot of people do it. I've seen people do it as I'm driving. I'm sure you have too. And, it's just not a good thing to do. Don't do it late at night. Don't be out late at night. If you're going to be around large groups of people, or you're going to go to a concert or anything like that, if you see something, say something. There's going to be a bunch of videos and clips that are going to come out over the next few days where they're going to show people saying, "Oh, look at that over there. What's that?" But they don't say anything to anybody. Where I work, if I see something out of place, or I see something that I don't think should be there, I'm going to ask, or I'm going to question. I'm going to, get somebody involved that's going to take care of that, unattended bags, things that people leave behind. And it happens all the time where I work at, guys. People will get up and they'll walk away from their stuff, and, Again, I'm not trying to create paranoia. I'm not trying to make anybody act hysterically. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but you have to develop that situational awareness. And along with that, if you're carrying a weapon, even if you're not carrying a weapon, but more so if you're not carrying a weapon, you have to know what's going on in your surroundings. You have to know your exit routes. You have to know points of vulnerability wherever you are, either in your home, at your workplace, whatever the case may be, even at your kids' schools. Know where the points of vulnerability are. I can't stress that enough, guys. When you're going shopping, pay attention to what's going on around you. I mean, Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, these are places that are full of people all the time, and you never know who might not be having a great day, who might be having a bad day, who might have gotten into an argument with somebody in the bathroom. You got to be aware of what's going on around you, guys. Don't just be walking around on your cell phone. Don't be walking around wherever you work at on your cell phone. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You have to. It's imperative that you do. If you have kids and they're between the ages of grade school and maybe military age kids, impress on them the importance of knowing what's going on around them. I'm not trying to tell you that, you got to have your kids walking around with their head on a swivel. They should feel safe when they're going to school. They should feel safe when they're with, mommy or daddy or just mommy or whatever the case may be. But mommy or daddy, you got to develop that situational awareness. You got to know what's going on in the environment around you. You got to know that when you go to Walmart, when you go to Target, when you go to Costco, when you go to Sam's Club, somebody could have a bad day. When you go out to have dinner with your family, somebody could have a bad day. Somebody could have been having a bad day. Somebody could have been upset with the store, an employee, something like that. And again, I'm not trying to create hysteria. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to say that you need to be paranoid about every little thing that you do, but you need to be situationally aware. When you leave your house in the morning, check your surroundings. Check for things that look different. Check for things that weren't there the day before or even a couple of days before. When you come home at night, look for things that weren't there when you left in the morning. Look for people that weren't there when you left in the morning. I leave pretty early in the morning. I get up and I go to the gym in the morning before I go to work. But even at that time, it's still dark outside and I'm still looking around, looking over my shoulder, checking to see if anybody's watching me, even from inside their own place. Just checking to see if anybody's watching my movements. Again, I'm not trying to create paranoia. I'm just suggesting that you develop some situational awareness in every aspect of your life, everything that you do, especially when you're out in public and especially when you have your kids or your family with you. And again, if you carry, you need to be practicing. You need to be getting proficient with your weapons. You need to be training with your weapons. I can't stress that anymore. I mean, I'm sure by now you guys have seen the videos of, the young lady on the train being unalived by that guy. And I mean, if anybody had any situational awareness, they probably could have stopped that guy at least or tried to detain him so before he walked off the train. I mean, there was human fluid, bodily fluids dripping all over the floor as soon as this man walked by. And I mean, nobody panicked. Nobody said anything. Nobody tried to stop the guy. Nobody tried to question him. And I get it. Not everybody's going to step up. Nobody's expecting anybody else to be a hero. But if somebody had some kind of situational awareness, if people weren't just sitting away, tapping on their phones or whatever the case may be, and I would really suggest if you're going to be out in public, don't have both of your earbuds in. Just have one. You can still hear the music, but you'll also be able to hear anything else that's going on around you. Situational awareness, guys. Situational awareness. Develop a plan for what's going to happen in the event that you have a home invasion. Let your family know what the plan is. If you trust your neighbors, talk to them. No, I mean, it's kind of hard. It'd probably be hard to gauge, police response times, but you know that if it's going to be 2 or 3 minutes, or you're going to get put on hold when you're dialing 911, then you have to know how to protect your home and your family when you're in your home. Develop situational awareness, guys. Like I said, there's going to be videos, there's going to be clips, there's going to be things that are going to come out over the next few days once this investigation starts to unravel. And I've seen them myself, and maybe it's my military background. If you see something, say something. If you see something that's out of place, say something about it. Make a mention of it. But that's only going to, whether it ends up being something or not, that's only going to maybe hopefully give you some kind of peace of mind that, okay, that belonged to that person. They're going to come back and get it. Or that person walked away from that stuff, so I know that that belongs to them. All of these places, these large venues are soft targets, guys. When you go to the beach, and I know summertime is winding down, but when you go to the beach and you're out in public and you're at a soft target and there's a lot of people around, develop your situational awareness. Have an escape plan. Have an escape route. Again, guys, I can't stress training enough with your weapons. Like I said, if you carry, then you really need to start getting proficient with your weapons. Mastering a handgun is so hard. It's not easy. Proficiency is going to build confidence in your skill behind that weapon. So if nothing else, guys, train hard. Develop situational awareness. Have an escape route for your family. Have an escape route for yourself if you're by yourself. Have a plan. You got to have a plan, guys. You got to develop a plan. If you've got military age children, I've said this before, don't force them to train with weapons, but you got to get them to train. You got to find a way. If you have daughters, I have daughters. If you have daughters, at least get them a stun gun, get them some pepper spray, get them something if they don't want to carry a handgun. Get them something to be able to defend themselves or fight somebody off, or at least be able to delay somebody from doing some kind of harm to them. If your wife doesn't want to carry a gun, get her a thing of pepper spray. They have them at AutoZone, all the checkout registers. You don't have to go to a sporting goods store or anything like. They have them at AutoZone, guys. I'm pretty sure they might have them at Walmart even. I don't know. I've never looked for it, but if not, order it online. But if your family members do not feel comfortable carrying a pistol with them, get them something to be able to protect themselves and delay an attacker. I like to have fun on this channel, guys, but with the events that have been happening lately, I felt like I really needed to come out and drop this video. I don't know how many likes it's going to get. I don't know how many comments it's going to get. I don't know how many views it's going to get. But I felt like if I didn't say something, then I wouldn't be doing a service to you guys. Like I said, a squad is only as strong as the members that are within the squad. We've got to get this message out to people, guys. And like I said, I'm not saying you got to develop a tactical mindset. I'm not saying that you got to leave the house paranoid every day, but develop situational awareness. It's only going to help you and your family. If you like any of this information, go ahead, give us a thumbs up, comment, like, and subscribe. Hit me down in the comment section if you got any ideas, if you think there's anything that I may have missed. But that's all we got for you today. Thank you for joining us in the bunker. I'm your man, Sergeant J Max. May God bless America. May God bless all of you. And we out.